my name is Linda Cirulli-Burton, and welcome to this channel named Above the Battleground, ACIM. The eye of the hurricane is the absolute center of the storm. I had to do some light internet research in order to prepare my little video for you. And what it said about the eye of the storm is that inside it's so calm. The winds are maybe 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's very sunny. Now, intriguingly, there is an eye wall that surrounds the eye. And that eye wall is probably the most dangerous part of the entire hurricane, where the winds are most intense, where the rainfall is disastrous. So we've got that, and in there, the calm center. So, I'm going to tell you, it wasn't much of a leap to think of this in terms of a spiritual metaphor and going to the calm center within. When there is so much chaos, it would appear external to us. Inside of the eye of the hurricane, where you and I, can hear the still, small voice of the Holy Spirit. Now, Above the Battleground is based on the teachings of a spiritual self-study path known as A Course in Miracles. In 2023, I decided to start these videos in order to have the lessons and the insights go deeper within me and hopefully to be of some benefit to you. I found my unlikely way to this topic through Shakespeare's King Lear. Now, some friends of myself went to an art house movie theater to see a 2018 filmed version of the play done by National Theatre in London's West End, starring Ian McKellen, the great actor, in the role of King Lear. So in getting ready for this lovely evening, I made the decision to reread the play, King Lear. But I must tell you ahead of time that I am no Shakespeare scholar. And my reintroduction, if you will, to Shakespeare has been through, drumroll, No Fear Shakespeare. Now, what No Fear Shakespeare does is on the right-hand side, it will have the play in Shakespearean English. Going down the right-hand side, it will be a modern translation. Now, when the play is funny, I can tell you, I laugh out loud. Not when I was reading King Lear. But anyway, let me give you a synopsis of the play so you can see where I'm going with this. So, King Lear has decided it's time to retire. And he has this kingdom, and he's going to divide it among his 3 daughters. But in one of those egomaniac moments, he wants each one of the daughters to profess their love to him. And he dangles, 1/3 of the kingdom. This is what you're going to get, but put on a performance for me. So his 2 oldest daughters, Goneril and Regan, have what can only be described as a complicated relationship with their father. Now, the youngest is his favorite, Cordelia. And I would say, of course, that the 2 oldest daughters are well aware of that. So anyway, they need to really dig into their acting prowess in order to demonstrate convincingly their amazing love for their father, Lear, so that they can get the section that is being offered to them. So really, the truth is that the audience that was watching the show live, including the audience in the art house where I was with my friends, we all laughed out loud when Goneril went into her flagrant episodes of adulation of daddy. It was really weird. And then her sister, Regan, also did her thing. Now, mind you, Cordelia, who genuinely adored her father, has to listen to the older daughters profess their fake love. And it really amounted to, you are the center of my being. Now, both of them are married, but hey, the spouses don't matter at all. Everything is daddy. So Cordelia is actually betrothed. She's not married yet. And she's watching all this. And the struggle that Cordelia is experiencing between, I can honestly tell you, between her ego mind and her spirit mind is heart-wrenching. Now, let's go into No Fear Shakespeare. So Cordelia is watching this, and she says to herself, what shall Cordelia speak? Love and be silent. On the no fear side, she says to herself, what shall I say? I can only love and be silent. Okay. Then a little bit later, still thinking to herself, she goes, then poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since I am sure my love's more ponderous than my tongue. The no fear side. To herself, poor me, what am I going to say now? But I'm not poor in love. My love is bigger than my words are. So the way that I could visualize it is that Cordelia, in the eye wall, watching, listening to this torrential downpour, to these terrible winds of chaos and horror, she slips into the calm center. She slips into the eye of the storm, and there she hears the still small voice that says, love and be silent. And so that is what she does. And let me just tell you another couple of lines that really bring it home. She says to her father, unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more, no less. No fear side. I'm unlucky. I don't have a talent for putting my heart's feelings into words. I love you as a child should love her father, neither more nor less. Now, keeping in mind, she is about to be betrothed either to France or Burgundy. So she speaks thusly. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters to love my father all. On the no fear side, they say they love only you. Don't they love their husbands too? Hopefully when I get married, I'll give my husband half my love and half my sense of duty. I'm sure I'll never get married in the way my sisters say they're married, loving their father only. Now, let me just say that this young lady is absolutely speaking from her heart. She is sharing her deep, profound love for her father. But I would suggest to you, to me, that it was going into the calm center, into the eye of the hurricane, that helped her find the strength to speak her truth, her love for her father. Now, all I've got to say is that the rest of the play is really going to be functioning in the eye wall, which once again is the worst part of the storm. And it's going to take Lear 5 full acts to get it. That it was this daughter who loved him with all her heart, and he enraged by the fact that she didn't showboat it. He always knew, and in the 5th act he does know, and he says to Cordelia, your sisters didn't have the right to hate me. Look what I gave them. But you, look what I did to you. You have cause for hating me. And she simply states, no cause, no cause, because she loved. Now, I want to say that we all participate in circumstances where we can feel by what's going on in our environment just insane. We may go there. What I feel is that there's really a raw fight sometimes between the right mind and the wrong mind. And remember that the right mind is the mind of spirit, where it is the mind of shared interest, the mind of peace, of love. The wrong mind is the desire to be right, the desire to score. It's me or you. It's very competitive. It's very destructive. And I was in a situation where there was exactly that war going on within me. And without getting into a description of what was going on in my environment, I do remember at one point that I felt like I had left my body. It was really a bizarre feeling. I left my body. I've often said going to the top of the mountain, above the battleground, resting there with Jesus or the Holy Spirit. In the case of this particular presentation, I would really prefer to say that there was a moment where I went into the eye of the hurricane, and somehow I found love. I found love there. And it was like I could rejoin in the eye wall, but be who I could choose to be, coming from my right mind. And I wanted to say that Dr. Ken Wapnick, whom I adore, for whom I feel the greatest gratitude, did an analysis of King Lear from the perspective of A Course in Miracles. And this really bears teaching. If Ken doesn't mind, he left us, his body left us in 2013, but in spirit, he is always here. So, Dr. Ken, he quotes from the text in A Course in Miracles from chapter 18. Yet there will always be this place of rest to which you can return, and you will be more aware of this quiet center of the storm than all its raging activity. This quiet center in which you do nothing will remain with you, giving you rest in the midst of every busy doing on which you are sent. For from this center will you be directed how to use the body sinlessly. It is in this center, from which the body is absent, that will keep it so in your awareness of it. Now, that's the quote from A Course in Miracles. What Ken Wapnick writes below this, and really so worthy to be shared. This means that we first go to that quiet center in our minds, the place of silence. And from that center, we will be guided. Very often, this will mean that we return to the world's raging activity. This quiet center is like the eye of a hurricane, wherein everything is still, despite the fury swirling around us. That eye is where the Holy Spirit is to be found, and we can continually return to him if we so choose. In fact, we can go there even while occupied in the world of time and space, accessing that silence midst our activity here. It is that quiet center we allow to direct what we do and say. And Cordelia did it, you know. She did it. She wasn't going to be drawn into the games, the deceits, the trying to outdo her sisters. No. She went to the quiet space and she found her way of expressing her real love. And maybe it took her dad 5 acts in King Lear to know the depth of her love. But you know what? He got it. And I think that when each one of us finds ourselves in situations that can absolutely drive us crazy, create great chaos within us, and I don't deny the fight that goes on between the right mind and the wrong mind, but I believe with all my heart that if we can find the quiet center, and hang out there, we can come back to the eye wall in a different way. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon.